Our mission is to be the world's leading intelligent finance data management and accounting platform, at the heart of an autonomous finance ecosystem. We transform complex data streams into a clear data foundation to power AI, time-consuming processes into real-time decision-making, budget-draining legacy systems into market-leading TCO, siloed finance architectures into singular interconnected AI-ready ecosystems, and frustrated finance teams into trusted expert advisors. Our technology removes risks and costs, maximizes the value of data, increases flexibility, and future-proofs organizations. This is why global corporations and technology giants want to work with us. But it's our people that make us unique. Our combined expertise, understanding, and creativity makes the difference. Start your autonomous finance journey today. Aptitude. Driving transformation.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another installment of ISV Success Live. My name is Brian Galicia, and I lead our global Dynamics ISV ecosystem team here at Microsoft. And it's always an honor and very grateful for our amazing Microsoft partners who invest time to be in our ecosystem, particularly with Dynamics. And Aptitude is one of those great partners that we worked with over a year ago, which we hosted. You might see this like, oh, have we seen Aptitude before? You have. We did host them a little over a year ago, but there's been so much great innovation that we felt, hey, it was time to re-showcase them in our Monday events so that people can really get to understand all the innovation happening, especially with AI, and because of the impact they do in finance and finance automation. So before I make an introduction to Leigh, let me give a quick kind of housekeeping to the event itself. So we do these every Monday, and the purpose is really to give an opportunity to share great things that our Dynamics ecosystem is doing and across either CE or F&O or the Power Platform. As long as the solution is certified and published in our app source, in our BizApps app source, we showcase them when we identify them and host them in this conversation. So this 30-minute conversation I'll have with Leigh is really about to understand, what are the business outcomes they drive, and really share some examples and some insights so that people who come across this can go, wow, we could actually utilize Aptitude. So during the event, we'd love to hear where you're watching from. So if you're taking the call, like Leigh from the UK or me in the Seattle area, if you just want to type in the LinkedIn window where you're watching from, we'll do a quick shout out kind of toward the beginning. And then throughout the event, if you have a question that you potentially want me to ask, because this is a live show, I'm happy to ask that of Leigh in real time. And then finally, as you're going through the conversation and listening to it, we love to ensure that it actually is resonating with you. So if you want to leverage the like or support or any of the emoji icons in LinkedIn, that also helps us to identify that the content is actually resonating with you. So without further ado, Leigh, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for making the time on a Monday afternoon, your time, UK time, to share some great insights. So why don't you describe a little bit about your executive role? You're Chief Product Officer of Aptitude Software. What does that mean? Of course, people understand what that means, but you can provide it in your own words. And then, as I always ask all my guests, what is one thing not on your LinkedIn profile that you'd be open to sharing so people get to know you virtually who've never met you before?
Great. Well, thank you very much, Brian. Thanks for having me. Great to join everybody on this session today. So I'm Leigh Pepper. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Aptitude Software. As the video just showed, Aptitude is a platform that really powers autonomous finance. We're a finance data management platform that also enables an accounting hub and subledger capability that is fully integrated in the Dynamics 365 ecosystem. My role as Chief Product Officer at Aptitude is to lead the teams that design, build, and run that software, effectively listening to our customers and our partners, understanding the challenges that they face in completing their finance digital transformations and how they can make the use of the latest technology, such as AI. One thing that people wouldn't know about me from my LinkedIn. So I spent quite a bit of time in France, whether that be skiing or doing an old barn that I have in the middle of France, which is going very, very slowly. So the one thing people might not know is that I am actually trying to learn French. You might not know that because when I try, it's really, really bad. I am 349 days into my Duolingo streak. So I'm literally 16 days off getting a full year of having tried to learn French every single day.
I love it, Leigh. Well, I applaud you for even starting that. And learning any type of language is amazing, but also it's hard. I mean, here in the States, it's mandatory that we do that. But the language I learned in high school was Japanese. And people go, "Oh, great! You speak Japanese?" I'm like, no, I don't. You can imagine when you don't use it and you're not speaking it on a consistent basis, it kind of goes away. So I love it, Leigh. What a great thing! And yeah, I'd love to get your English accent with French. That would be
Formalized. Formalized, I think they call it.
Formalized. Okay, I love it. I love it. So before we jump into, again, one of my favorite questions to just start us off on what does Aptitude do, let me do a quick shout out because we got a number of people just putting into the window where they're watching from. So James, thank you so much. Another person from London. I appreciate you commenting. Fernando from Amsterdam. So, because I was looking too, is anyone from France? I don't think, well, I'll scroll down and go through this. Fernando, thank you so much. Cian, or I'm probably not pronouncing your name correctly, but thank you so much. Manchester, and then of course we were talking about Leigh, your English Premier team winning the cup from Manchester, so that's good. That's good. Carl from Boston, thank you so much, Carl. Timo from Stuttgart, Germany, thank you. Appreciate that. And sometimes it shows this, but Pius, I don't know why it does this occasionally, but it does it. LinkedIn sometimes hides the thing, but I could see it off the LinkedIn feed. So Pius, thank you so much. Ranjitha, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly, from Maryland. Thank you so much. Rakesh, Birmingham, thank you so much. We have a lot of people from England today, which is great. Understandable since Aptitude is based in England. Peter from Singapore. Wow, thank you so much because it's late your time. Sarah from Boston, another person from Boston. Thank you so much. Bleedy from London, thank you. We have Brenda from SoCal, sunny SoCal. I love the sun. That's great. Amy, thank you so much from San Francisco. And then we have Jay from Boston too. So feel free to continue to put it in there. We'll give more shout outs if I see more. But Leigh, why don't we just get started? Describe, what does Aptitude do? So people got a sense a little bit from the video, but for people who've never come across Aptitude, and of course they think about, well, finance automation, what does that even mean? Maybe we could describe a little bit about the context of Aptitude.
Yeah, so I think at the highest level, what we basically do is take high levels of data volume. So companies that have very high levels of data volume or very complex data that they need to essentially from their upstream systems turn into accounting transactions. So we do that by bringing that source data onto our platform, enabling them to complete accounting rules or complex calculations, and then ultimately post them into our subledger capability. So we act as a kind of very granular data level, at subledger level, before you get into the ERP system where a client will be managing their general ledger. So we have a very close partnership with Microsoft Dynamics 365, and we'll act as that accounting hub capability in consort with the Dynamics 365. We very much see ourselves as being at the forefront of autonomous finance. And this concept of autonomous finance is really moving from a world where clients would send lots of batch data into a system on maybe a weekly or monthly basis, process that activity and complete their accounting run, usually with lots of manual adjustments and manual intervention along the way, to making that a seamless and fully integrated and automated process, of which clients can then utilize that rich data set to provide forecasting, reporting, and also insights off that data, which with our partnership with Microsoft, we've been able to leverage the Azure AI capabilities in order to build Copilots to enable that data to also be queried and analyzed through AI.
That's fantastically just the fact that taking all that data and analyzing it so that you can get all that rich information without a lot of manual effort, I think is amazing, because that's what people want. There's time efficiencies of being able to look at all this very complex data about general ledger revenue types of things, our cost, and doing that. So since we hosted Aptitude a little over a year ago, we have a great video that kind of showcases, again, puts a little bit of a visual to the capabilities. Why don't you touch, before we run the video, it's about a 2-minute video, why don't you touch upon what's changed? What are some of the things that Aptitude has done? Of course, you leading the product teams, it's amazing because you've allowed all this amazing innovation since we started the partnership a little over a year ago. Maybe you could touch upon the innovation and then what people will see when we run the video, this 2-minute video.
Yeah, so I think before we get onto the innovation, we've actually been doing quite a bit of work on the foundation capabilities. So firstly, making sure that our Fynapse data platform is fully deployable within the Azure ecosystem, and ensuring that that is certified for both SOC 1 and SOC 2 compliance, which for enterprise grade clients, particularly in areas like financial services and insurance, is a kind of real hygiene level that you need for an enterprise accounting system. So we've made sure that in partnership with Microsoft, we're able to do that. We've also become fully transactable on the Azure Marketplace, which means that we have advantages of being able to use things like the Microsoft Azure consumption commitments, so we can be transacted against that. And we've been working also very closely with the Microsoft field teams to make sure that they fully understand the proposition and capability that Aptitude offers in this space. So I think really kind of building that partnership has been partly what the last 12 months has been about. But of course, I think it would be amiss not to mention just the phenomenal growth in AI capabilities over the last 12 months, not just in the richness of the models that are being released and the usage of those models globally, but really, I think the tooling that's being provided by Microsoft to enable companies like Aptitude, where we have very rich, deep data sets, to really leverage AI capabilities in partnership with Microsoft. And then obviously with the launch of your Copilots and Copilot Studios, being able to build out some of those experiences has been pretty game-changing for us in starting to look at how we move clients towards autonomous finance. So the next video that we're about to show is a very, very brief kind of overview of how some of that richness of data, some of the AI tooling can be used to start to create insights and leverage the partnership between Aptitude and Microsoft.
Yeah, that's great, Leigh. So let me gonna move things around in here. Let me run this quick video and then we'll do a quick recap of what people see in it. So let me go ahead and run it. So that was amazing, because you think about that, and for anyone who's utilized AI and the chat capabilities of various things, including Microsoft, you saw like amazing that you could type something in and it will give you a response and identify those types of things. So Leigh, why don't you describe again some other things that really people should take away as they saw that video?
Yeah, so I mean, firstly, when you look at it, it all looks very slick and very simple, right? But I think under the hood, what Aptitude Fynapse is really built for is managing high volume data. And we can process hundreds of millions of journal lines an hour, which is what's sitting below that interface is the rideshare company's data, of which it will be, millions and millions and millions of transactions. There's an aggregation of that data into kind of Power BI reporting, so you can see very simplistically on the different promotions the performance that they are having. And you could clearly see there was an anomaly in one of those promotions. Now, in the past, that would have taken quite a bit of time to be able to go through back into the journal lines to identify all the transactions that sat within that journal that were contributing to that particular anomaly. By using the AI, we were able to quite simply put a query into that, and it was able to bring back very, very, very accurate information as to the likely cause of that particular promotion's anomaly. Now, that would usually that would be the end of the story. But because of the partnership between Microsoft and the integration between Dynamics 365 and the Aptitude Fynapse platform, not only were you able to identify the anomaly, you were able to drill back all the way down to the journal line level to see that particular data entry, which means that for a finance team, where that may have spent hours previously trying to work out exactly where that anomaly was coming from, within a matter of seconds using the AI, they were able to basically get down to that level of detail. And that's just one use case of how AI can kind of be used over the top of those rich data sets to provide reporting, insight, and analysis going forward.
Yeah, and it's such a powerful thing because not just in the tight integration with Dynamics F&O or Dynamics Finance, but running on Azure. And to your point, you talked about that, Leigh. I should have reinforced that when you made the comment, but the ability for a customer who may have made an investment with a Microsoft to Azure commit to consume commitment and is running a majority of their solutions on Azure, you're just adding another capability to something that may already be using with Dynamics that can gain benefit because it's running on a very scalable solution and leveraging the AI capabilities that exist in Azure as well. So why don't we describe a little bit about just what's the journey been like? Of course, you've probably been witness to the partnership since the beginning, a little over a year ago. So maybe you could share your feedback and the experience that Aptitude has gotten just by being part of the Microsoft partnership. You touched on some of the capabilities, but is there any other things that you wanted to highlight in regards to just Aptitude being part of the Microsoft ecosystem?
Well, I think firstly, it's been great from day one. When we were on board with Stephen Mullihan and Ingmar Boone, it was, a really fantastic experience, and it's continued to get better. We've moved over to Jacqueline Toe, as our PDM, and they've done a great job of getting us access into Microsoft. That's both with the go-to-market teams, with both their sales and marketing teams. We've done joint press releases with regards to our autonomous finance vision that we both share between Fynapse and Microsoft 365. We've had access to technical resources, which has enabled us to do hackathons, similar to what you've just seen in our video there. That came from one of our hackathons in terms of looking at how we could use Azure AI tooling in order to create those experiences. And that's really allowed us to be able to widen our reach in terms of the tooling that we're using. And then we've been working in partnership together to do events that really set the tone of what the future is for finance transformation around this autonomous finance piece. We've recently pulled together some research around benchmarking where companies are on their autonomous finance journey. And we did that and launched that at our Paddington offices in London. And we had speakers from the Microsoft Dynamics 365 finance team. We had speakers from HSO, who is one of the kind of major partners of the Microsoft ecosystem, and attendees from a number of our key clients across there. So yeah, it's been fantastic working together, both from a technical side, but also from a marketing and sales side to really maximize the messaging around autonomous finance. And we actually have further events lined up in New York on the 15th of May, Toronto on the 16th of May, and then later in the year in Australia. So we look forward to working with the teams from Microsoft on presenting the outcomes of that autonomous benchmarking survey that we've done together.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I think someone from the Aptitude team is going to post some links into those upcoming events that, again, if you're in those geographies and the information you're listening to either live or replay, you find really valuable to the scenario, because of course, if you're driving these ledger scenarios and use Dynamics Finance, then you're already a step ahead as to the scenarios that this could bring. So that brings me to one of my favorite questions, which is what are some of examples? Because you touched upon it, and it's great because when you think about SOX compliance, there's a lot of scenarios that not just on blocks, but just like that requirement to show that, hey, the scenario is secure, that the things that the solution is doing is secure and scalable. So maybe you can describe a little bit, Leigh, on some of your favorite customer examples, ones that you've witnessed where, again, when people aren't using Aptitude and I can't imagine the complexity that is needed for someone to try to figure out an anomaly that was shown in that video. Like, maybe you describe some of the use cases that you have witnessed in customers that have deployed the solution. Like, what was the before and after? What were they doing, or what were they using to when, oh my gosh, there is a better way to do this. Oh, there's an ISV built on Microsoft that actually does this. Maybe you could describe a little bit about some of the customers that you've been exposed to.
Yeah, absolutely. So I won't name any names because obviously lots of sensitivity around NDAs and stuff. But I think first, just to benchmark a little bit some of the results that came out of our survey, and then how we're seeing some clients benefit from the work we've been doing together. So at the moment, over 80% of clients currently have a non-real-time close on the end of their accounting periods. Over half of them take longer than a couple of days to be able to process that particular close. And then over half of them have no access to kind of self-service reporting off the back of that data. So we've been starting to work with clients who really want to change that in the way in which they work, to automate their close periods, to bring down those close periods, and to have access to that rich data insight. So we've been working with an asset management firm in the US that have been automating their close processes, thanks to the combined offering of D365 and Fynapse. We've also been working with a government entity in the UK that's addressing automation for their regulatory requirements using the Aptitude Fynapse platform, and then going into the Microsoft solutions. And then another high-tech firm in the software industry that's been automating their accounting around revenue recognition and lease accounting. Because one of the things that we do at Aptitude as kind of experts in finance transformation is that over the past decade, we've worked very closely on a number of the compliance and changes that have come into the market around different finance compliance requirements. And therefore, we have a set of specialist engines that can also support that on top of the Fynapse solution. And then, working together, we're rapidly growing our pipeline across all regions and sectors. But we do have a particularly large concentration in financial services and manufacturing that we've been working together on, where typically clients are looking to solve the challenge of the fact that they have very high volumes of data that need to be processed very, very efficiently in order for them to bring down those close periods. And therefore, Fynapse can handle that volume of data and get that data into a really granular level, at sub-ledger level, which can then be integrated into the Dynamics 365 and apply things like Power BI, Azure AI tooling, and Copilot over the top of it to provide that self-service reporting and that richness of data that clients are looking for.
Yeah, I love it, Leigh. And those examples you provided just shows the breadth and the depth that you provide. Of course, you denoted that there's some very specific industries where you've had tremendous success, financial services, manufacturing. But I think your last point was spot on, which is if you are a potential customer buyer listening to this and you look at your close periods, whether you're public or not, I suspect that you would, please correct me if I'm wrongly, but regardless if you're public or not, every company has to go through accounting and close their quarter or close a certain period. And you kind of pause and go, how long is it taking me to do that today versus is there a better way to do it, especially to, again, that quick visual of someone seeing that anomaly or anomalies that occur with high volumes of data and allowing that to be uncovered to really be able to close their books? I mean, is that maybe I'm oversimplifying, but is that a good?
No, I think at a very simplistic level, most companies will have multiples of systems that have accounting data in them, right? That ultimately you have to bring together and apply accounting entries over the top of. We can simplify that for you in terms of being able to be highly efficient in terms of bringing that data together. But we can also help you keep the granular level of data that you require in order to be able to produce real deep insight from a financial perspective that can help with your forecasting, can help with your reporting, can help with that anomaly detection type of stuff. And the reason that Aptitude works in partnership with our Fynapse platform with Microsoft 365 is because ultimately, in most cases, where you just simply put that into a general ledger construct, you lose a lot of that richness of the data. And we know that clients really value that richness. So we can process that highly efficiently through Fynapse. We can store that data highly efficiently using the Microsoft ecosystem and our Azure hosting packages. And we can make sure that that integrates fully with Dynamics 365 so that you're able to continue to gain the benefits of the wider Microsoft ecosystem that you get from that ERP solution. So yeah, most companies would benefit. In reality, if you're anything from a kind of mid-sized company up to the largest enterprises, I mean, we work with some of the world's largest banks, largest financial services and insurance companies. So we go right from that kind of mid-tier scale right up to that enterprise scale in terms of helping clients with that data through our data platform, finance data management platform.
Yeah, that's great, Leigh. And so with the few minutes we have left, this is a good segue with just describing what's next. So part of it is what for people listening to this, what are the best next steps people can take? Of course, we're running this on LinkedIn. And so if you aren't connected with Leigh, feel free to send a connection request. And Jay from Aptitude has been kind enough to put some really good resources in the feed. But maybe you describe, Leigh, like someone listening to this, whether they're a potential customer, they're a Microsoft seller that's selling into these scenarios and going, oh my gosh, there's a use case where this customer is describing my business challenges is identifying these abnormalities to quickly close, and our partners, because of course you mentioned HSO, which is a very strong Microsoft partner, not just implementation, but they also do some ISV stuff. Nothing that you do, but a lot of ISV stuff as well. Maybe you describe again what people, depending on what they're looking for, how should they take next steps with Aptitude?
Yeah, so I think just on HSO, we have a strategic partnership with HSO as well. So it works quite nicely in terms of that dynamic between Microsoft HSO and Aptitude. In terms of next steps, yeah, so feel free to reach out to myself. I can direct you to somebody in our organization who can help you in terms of looking for your particular use case or solution that you may require. We obviously have the autonomous finance events that I mentioned in New York on May the 15th and Toronto on May the 16th. So it would be great for people to use the links that Jay shared or go onto LinkedIn and look up Aptitude and register for those. I will actually be flying over to the US to attend those. So would look forward, and Canada of course. Upset people there. Toronto's obviously in Canada, so I'll be there as well. So yeah, it'd be great to see people there. But if you are more generically just looking to kind of understand a bit more, we've obviously got our website, which we can share at the end of this, and also our listing on the Microsoft Marketplace, which people can go directly to understand more about the solutions that we have. And yeah, if any questions, just feel free to reach out, and we'll make sure we handle those.
I love it, Leigh. So I just flashed up Jay's comment, and of course, it's a little bit bigger, and they're not clickable links, unfortunately, but you can take a screenshot or look at the feed. Again, you probably caught it as the quick 2-minute so demo was running. aptitudesoftware.com/demo-request is a great way, again, to ask for more insight or to navigate just the richness of some of the things that Leigh touched on, but getting much more detail about, again, some of the prescriptive things of what Aptitude can do with their IP. And then finally, as Leigh had mentioned, this is just a quick link to the app source listing on Microsoft of the Aptitude finance automation scenario and IP that we've just been discussing. to where you can go directly into their app source listing to see the richness of their capabilities. So as we wrap up, Leigh, any other final wrap-up comments before we rerun the kind of the intro for people, again, to get a teaser for Aptitude at a very high level, but anything to close on as we wrap up the show?
Well, just a big thank you for having me, Brian. It's been great to share what we do at Aptitude with our Fynapse data management platform and the partnership that we have with Microsoft Dynamics 365. So thanks for the time and thanks for the opportunity to share some of the events and opportunities that people have to come and meet us at Aptitude if they would like to.
Yeah, I know. My pleasure, Leigh. Thank you so much. Truly grateful for your leadership in driving the innovation that's behind the scenes on the product. And again, the amazing partnership, and the very grateful for Aptitude coming in and investing the resources, the time, and the energy just to be a Microsoft partner to help both of us impact our joint end customers. So with that being said, everyone, again, thank you for making the time, whether you're watching live or replay. If you go to aka.ms/ISV Success Live, that showcases what this conversation, we just wrapped up this conversation, but any of the other conversations that we've done, because it's hard to believe that this is episode 94. So stay tuned for future ones. You'll see them show up on my LinkedIn feed for the ones we do on Mondays at 8 a.m. West Coast time. So without further ado, I'm going to rerun the video from the beginning. And thank you again, Leigh. Enjoy the rest of the day, and safe travels when you get to these events in the US and in Canada.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Our mission is to be the world's leading intelligent finance data management and accounting platform, at the heart of an autonomous finance ecosystem. We transform complex data streams into a clear data foundation to power AI, time-consuming processes into real-time decision-making, budget-draining legacy systems into market-leading TCO, siloed finance architectures into singular interconnected AI-ready ecosystems, and frustrated finance teams into trusted expert advisors. Our technology removes risks and costs, maximizes the value of data, increases flexibility, and future-proofs organizations. This is why global corporations and technology giants want to work with us. But it's our people that make us unique. Our combined expertise, understanding, and creativity makes the difference. Start your autonomous finance journey today. Aptitude. Driving transformation.